Good afternoon, hello, it's Daniel. This is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. Today's video is episode 4 from week 3 of this little series that doesn't yet have a name, but I might do by the time it goes out, where I'm trying to lose 7 kilos of body weight in 7 weeks. Now, you joined me at the beginning of week 3, and up to yet, I've lost 1.8 kilos in body weight. So, some progress, but I need to be losing a kilo a week by being in a calorie deficit of 1,000 or so per day to get me to that 7 kilos in 7 weeks. Now, today is Monday. It is the evening. I have done already 2.5 hours on the bike, just indoor training. I'm trying to hit this target by eating sensibly, but also doing a good amount of exercise so that I can burn those calories and be in that deficit. So I've done an hour at lunchtime and then an hour and a half this evening. And if I'm honest, it's been bad. I've struggled. Lunchtime, I had a real energy fade, 20 minutes in. I had a squares bar. I had these on hand for emergencies, and also have a big bag of jelly babies, so I had 8 jelly babies. So it's controlled. I'm tracking everything on MyFitnessPal. I'm keeping a handle on what I'm eating, but that wasn't good. That made me feel, ooh, I'm struggling here. So then this evening, I've tried to get the front foot a bit more. I've snacked a bit too much today in reality. I've had 3 Muller Corner yogurts. Again, I'm logging everything and it's sort of controlled, but I just felt like this isn't, I could be better than that. But I just felt really hungry, in honesty. So getting on the bike tonight, I had 8 jelly babies before I got on. It's only 40 grams of carbs, 170 calories, not a huge snack, and I've done 1,200 calories of exercise, so yeah, great, but it hasn't felt good. I'm definitely now getting a bit more, I won't say snappy with Liz, but Liz, my other half, does the vast majority of the cooking, and we often our evening meals flexible, well, we'll have it in a bit or whatever time. Now I'm like, can we have it at? And I'm like, this time, and I'm texted a half an hour ago saying, is there any chance you can put dinner on? I'll be done in whatever, just because I know that I am starving and I don't want to get off the bike and snack on something and then have dinner. I want to have dinner so that I'm not having that additional snack, and I think she's just bearing the brunt of that, to be honest. But I will make it up to her at some point in the future by having a 6-pack. Anyway, so that is an okay day so far. I am going swimming later tonight as well. I am flapping because tomorrow I'm in our London office, so I'll take you along and show you what I'm going to try and do on a day like that, because I'm going to be not training, long day, train journey, etc. It is what it is, and I just need to try and control myself and be at least break even tomorrow. So let's get stuck into that. Okay, so Monday ended up being okay. Deficit of 900 and something, but I had to really work for that. It's only because I'd done so much cycling and a swim, I was able to be in that position. It was a struggle. I was hungry quite a lot. Today, Tuesday, is the day that I was flapping about, and for good reason. I've had, again, an okay day. I've snacked a bit too much. Had lunch out, so that was higher calories than normal. It was about 950. I had a chicken wrap and waffle fries, but I was quite hungry. I did quite well with resisting. We, having a big team meeting, so there's flapjack, there's cookies, there's all that sort of rubbish that I don't need. I had my carrot sticks and cucumber things in a bowl in front of me, a sandwich box, and I felt, it feels ridiculous. I'm sat there no thanks, I don't want cookies, no thanks, I don't want, when it's evident that I am somebody that eats that sort of rubbish. But I resisted the peer pressure and temptation and got through it, which I'm really, really happy about. And also, normally on the way home or something, I've got a sandwich and a bag of crisps and a protein bar from M&S on the way at the train station. I would always normally buy some chocolate and some sweets and eat that on the train. I didn't. I resisted that, so I'm stoked with that. But I still can't help but feel like it's not enough. So at the time of recording, it is. What time is it? 8:20 in the evening. I've literally just walked through the door and got changed. I left home this morning about 6 a.m, something like that. So a long day. I know people will have longer work days, but a lot of travel and stress and so on, and I don't normally do this sort of travel. I am 559 calories over, not just over my goal, over as in that's a surplus. I cannot go to bed tonight being in that, or any surplus, but definitely not that sort of surplus, because I've got to add on 559 to an already big target. So it might feel ridiculous, I might need a rest day, but I just can't, physically can't. So I'm going to get on the bike, I'm going to do at least an hour. If I can do an hour and a half, brilliant, but at least an hour, and try and get that into a 400 or 500 deficit, because that means I can pick up the rest at that bigger weekend training day is the plan. But yeah, I just can't go to bed tonight in that sort of surplus. So let's get on the bike and do a bit of pedaling. I've also somehow been doing lots of cycling. My wrist is hurting, so I've just put a wrist brace on from when I had some wrist injuries last year, hoping that would just reinforce it whilst I'm on the bike, because I cannot be doing with any more injuries. It'd be so easy to try and talk myself out of this, like, oh, just get an early night, go again tomorrow, all that sort of stuff, but I've done that for months. I cannot be doing that now, because that just ends up with me in the same situation. I have to change my mindset that I am always striving to do as much as I can, because anything less than that isn't going to result in this 7 kilos in 7 weeks project. So let's get pedaling this bike and get it done. High five, you lot. It's really weird recording a video so far in advance that I don't know what like the response has been to the previous few videos. When I normally do my daily stuff, I'm like a few days ahead, so I can sort of gauge response on current things that I'm either dealing with or talking about, whereas this is like completely blind, so who knows if I've been getting absolutely slated for not doing a good enough job at this. But this is all I've got. Right, so I've done 50 minutes, 50, enough calories burnt so that I'm in a 100 calorie deficit, which means I can go and have a cup of tea and a little bag of, what am I eating quite a bit of at the minute, like beef jerky, like it's little snacks, about 60 calories, quite high in protein for how many calories it is, and it just tides me over, so that's the plan. What I'm doing as well, while I'm not training as much, I have been, but this week might not be, I'm doing a bit more intensity during those workouts. It means that obviously the more energy I'm pushing, the more power, the more kilojoules I'm burning, the more calories I'm burning within that same time. So within the parameters of my old and frail body and the energy I've got, I'm just doing a little bit more. So I did 3 like 2 to 4 minute surges in that, just to sort of bump it up a little bit, and also just to get a bit of intensity and try and make it a bit more exciting than just sitting on the bike and churning and churning and churning. Anyway, it is 9:15. I'm gonna go and I'll make Liz and I a cup of decaf tea, have a shower, get in bed, and tomorrow, come on, it's gonna be a bigger day. So it's now Thursday, and yesterday I knew that I had to put a lot of work in to try and catch up from that day of break even. If I was a normal person in a normal training block or normal life, breaking even on calories is absolutely fine, no problem, move on to the next day. I can't. I have to catch up from that day because of all the things I spoke about, the mess that I'm in. I've got to, like, I can't be complacent in any way. Liz actually told me last night that I'm becoming a bit obsessed, and I almost batted it off and I said, I need to be obsessed, because when I'm not obsessed, it's not good enough. I'll just slip and, oh, I'll not do that. Oh, okay, I'll break even today. Oh, it just doesn't happen. I have to be fully focused on training, eating, being in a big calorie deficit, and working towards these weight loss goals, because otherwise it just doesn't happen. So sorry if any of this is coming across as extreme. Yesterday I did 3 hours of cycling spread across a couple of rides. That's a lot for me, but I needed to be in a big calorie deficit. I thought I'd just show you a couple of things that I've picked up recently, things that I'm eating at the minute that I'm finding I'm getting along with. So this is like the snack cupboard. Obviously everybody loves a snack. These grenade bars are brilliant in terms of low sugar, high protein, but they are about 220 calories, something like that, 222 calories, and they taste really nice. So that's good, and I'm using them as a treat, but it is hard having them here as a treat because they're there to, oh, I'll have a treat. So I've just got to fight that battle. Got some beef jerky. I'm quite liking beef jerky at the minute, just for a low calorie snack. This is actually quite a bigger packet than the other ones that I've got. Oh, I've run out. So these are the bigger ones. So these are actually quite a decent size. It's 60 grams. So that's about 150 calories, 150 to 160 calories. Whereas the smaller packets are about a 60 calorie bag. So decent amount of protein in that. But yeah, again, another decent sized snack. I think that's about it in terms of things that I'm trying to snack on. Obviously, I'm trying to snack on like empty things like carrot and cucumber. I know it's not empty, but more empty than it is previously. But things like this, like the protein yogurts, they're pretty good. Some of those sort of pouch things. And I do love Muller Corners, but I am trying to have more of these, which aren't quite as nice in my opinion, but obviously lower calories. So yeah, that's for Liz's lunch. And you know, it's going all right. I'm finding that it is definitely training that is saving me from an average diet rather than the diet making me be in whatever deficit I am or not. So yeah, anyway, I've still got half the week to go and I've got the weekend ahead. And whilst I'm looking at numbers day in, day out, I'll share everything at the end of this video when I've got the week summarized. Today was the lightest I've weighed in the last 6 months. Motivating. I've struggled in the last few days because I've been fairly heavy versus the last couple of weeks especially. So it's just fluctuating, but today is a good day. I'm taking the positivity from it. Okay, so it is Sunday evening, time to look at some numbers, because I can waffle on as much as I want about what I'm eating and what training I'm doing and so on. It's only really the numbers that matter. Sure, body composition and how you look and feel is important, but the number is the most easy to track metric, and it's probably one of the most accurate metrics I can use for this thing. So my calorie deficit for this week as a total was 6,833. That's down on week 1 and week 2. I think it's been driven by Tuesday being a break-even day. The other days I've been able to be just over 1,000, but I haven't had that 1 or 2 big days normally at the weekend where I've been a couple of thousand in deficit. And the reason is I'm just struggling with it. I've done lots of training this weekend. I've done enough training to get me in that sort of deficit, but I felt really hungry. I think I'm just feeling now the impact of 3 weeks of being in a mostly 1,000 calorie deficit day, and my body's just crying out for food. I'm physically hungry, whether it's some of it's habit stuff as well, I don't know. So like the weekend days, I've done 1,203 yesterday, then 1,123 today, but I need to just reset myself, and I think I need to just think, if I have a day in the week where I'm broken even, I don't think I can try and catch that up. I think what I'm trying to do is extreme enough, being in 1,000 calorie deficit a day, so I need to just let it go, I think, because it's just not happening, even if I'm trying to catch it up. I could do it initially in week 1 and week 2, but don't think so at the minute. So my starting 7-day average weight for this beginning this week was 102.8 kilos, and I've ended the week on a 7-day average of 102 kilos, so down 0.8 kilos, which is good. I was setting myself this target of 1 kilo a week, so in total I am down 2.6 kilos in 3 weeks. Very good, right? I'm not going to complain about that at all, and extrapolate that out over a couple of months, that'd be fantastic. But I still can't help but feel that I'm not doing enough. I'm only 0.4 kilos off my target, but it's annoying being off your target, just not quite doing what you think. I think it'd be easier to motivate myself if I was already above it. So things to work on this week is definitely the snacking and trying to become more consistent. I'm hoping that for the next 3 weeks I'm not actually going to have any sort of planned break-even days, as in I'm not going to be out all day. I'm really trying to structure my life in a way that I can still always do an hour or 2 of training, because it's got to be my main focus. So like, for example, I'm very lucky to have like some partners on this channel. So Easy Gains, for example, Veta, Hoop, NRG Chains, all of them I try and do video things with every now and again. And Veta, for example, we've got some new wheels coming in. We want to do some videos, all about those. And I'm just really struggling to fit it in. Like, when do I want to do it? I'd normally just go, we'll do it on a Saturday morning, and it'll take half the day or most of the day. I can't write off half a day because that's my 2, 3, 4 hours training time. So I'm just struggling with to juggle those sorts of things at the minute. But this has got to be my main priority, and people like that will understand. Like I would speak to John Veta and explain that, and as a bike rider he would understand. But I can't help but feel that it's like, I'm just like letting somebody down or something. What else? So a deficit's come down. I think that's just going to settle in now to about, if I can go for 7,700 a week, that'd be great. So I'm going to try and get that back up. I have done nearly 20 hours of training this week, so I've done 18 and a bit hours on the bike and then some swimming. That's like the top end of what I can do. I feel physically tired. I think what's more sustainable is if I did less training and less eating, it seems to be less taxing on the body. But I'm trying to get fit as well, and whilst I can't control the food that much, I need to be doing the training. So this is what I'm going for at the minute. In weeks to come, I might try and change that, but for the time being, I'm definitely going to aim next week to do at least 15 hours on the bike, mostly endurance, just to enable me to, I can almost guarantee that I'm going to be in a deficit of some kind every day. Some positives for the week. I've ended the week at my lightest ever weight weighing in. You'd think with the 7-day average going down that would be the case, but it's not. It's up and down, up and down. The beginning of this week I was weighing in like 103 point something, so higher than the previous 7-day average. And then the end of this week, yesterday and today, I've weighed in at 101 exactly, which is really motivating. But again, I'm just bracing myself for tomorrow, it potentially going up. So that's positive. I need to try and fit in a haircut at some point this week. I feel like, again, I'm prioritising the training above that. But I need to get into some sort of balance now. I've had the 2 or 3 weeks of really focusing on it. I still need to be focused, but there's some things I can't let slip. Like, obviously, I need to get a haircut. I'm not going to be just letting my hair grow out until I'm ripped. Anyway, so that's been a good week. Still no really falling off the rails. Still no big crashes and no big like emotional breakdowns, but maybe they are to come. So thank you very much for the support. I said this before. Today is the 9th of March. Feels weird recording this video so far ahead of it going out, but I now have 4 weeks before Liz and I go to Mallorca for a week. That's what this whole thing's about, so that I can be fit in my summer kit, do some training with some cool people, and feel better about myself when I'm cycling, and then we'll pick up from where I am when I get back from there. But 3 weeks down, 4 to go. In the next episode, we're going to have a bit of a, like, I'm going to take my t-shirt off and compare myself to 3.5 weeks ago and see if I look any different 3.5 weeks in, and I'm bracing myself for that answer being no. But thank you very much. Hope you're well. See you soon.